financial statements, including the adjustments. I hope you can see the screen. So can you write this down? Chapter 5, financial statements, including the adjustments. So in this session, we are planning to discuss introduction to adjustment. Basically, there are 4 types of adjustments that you need to highlight: accrued expenses, accrued income, bad debts, depreciation. And how you present your adjustments, basically non-current assets adjustments in statement of financial position, and how you incorporate all these adjustments and how to prepare profit or loss and statement of financial position. So under this, we will discuss everything. So this is the important topic. Here we learn accrued expenses, accrued income, bad debts, depreciation, and along with these adjustments, how you present our financial statements. Okay. Setuli, can you read the first part?
So the first paragraph.
Yeah, first part.
The recording of business transaction using the regulatory system and preparation of the trial balance after balance of ledger accounts are discussed previously. Even though every business transaction has to be recorded in the books of accounts, some transactions may not have been adjusted in the accounting period. In addition, some balances in ledger accounts can only be taken with trial balance after making necessary adjustments. Adjustment entries that are required to present the financial statements with the most relevant and accurate figures are called adjusting entries. The adjustment entries are used to adjust the values of assets, liabilities, income, and expense accounts according to the accounting period. In calculating the operational performance of the organization, expenses and income respective of they had been received in cash or not, the relevant amount should be considered as relevant for the period. This is done according to the accrual concept. In addition, as per the accrual concept, irrespective of the amount received in cash, the total income relevant for the period should be recorded as well as irrespective of the amount paid in cash. Total expense relevant for the period should be recorded. General journal is used to record the adjustment entries to the books of account.
Okay, write this down. Adjustment entries are adjustment entries which are required. Adjustment entries which are required to present the financial statement. To present the financial statements with the most relevant and accurate figures with the most relevant and accurate figures. Okay. And these adjustments will be recorded in general journal. These adjustments will be recorded in general journal. Let's write it down. The importance of adjusting increase. The importance of adjusting increase. Importance of adjusting increase. That is number one. The balance in ledger accounts can be updated. The balances in ledger accounts can be updated. Number two, profit or loss of the period or for the period. Profit or loss for the period can be calculated accurately. Can be calculated accurately. Third, financial statements can be prepared in accordance with generally accepted accounting policies and standards. Financial statements can be prepared with financial statement can be prepared in accordance with generally accepted accounting policies and standards. The stakeholders of the business, last one, the stakeholders of the business can use accurate information, to make accurate economic decisions. To make accurate economic decisions. Make accurate economic decisions. Okay, now write down a topic, accrued expenses. Topic, accrued expenses. Write down, expenses incurred for the period but not yet paid. Please write down this example. ABC Limited Copy this down. Vinati Piris, I'm asking a question. So what is the double entry for these 10 months rents they paid?
Accrued expense debited 100,000 and cash credited 100,000.
Any different answer? Rehara? I'm asking what is the double entry for 10 months rent you paid?
Rent expenses debit 1 lakh and credit cash 100,000.
That's correct. Yeah. So basically, this is prior to the adjustment. Okay. So basic entry එක තමයි cash වලින් කොච්චර ගෙවුවද expense එකට ඒක දාන්න. හරිද? So rent expense debit cash credit. කීයක් ගෙවුවද? 100,000. Let's copy this down. Right. Or the year ended 31st December 2021. Rent expense should be ill. For the year ended 31st December 2021, rent expense should be how much? I need answer. Maths කරලා තියෙනව නේද කට්ටිය? සහ maths කරනවනේ. මාසෙට 10,000. අවුරුද්දට කීයද rent එක? 120. Is it clear? Write it down. And next write it down. Outstanding rent. So 120,000 is the total rent. You paid 100,000. How much you have to pay more? Further, you have to pay 20,000 rent. That is called accrued rent. That's called accrued rent. Okay, so that is an adjustment. So this is an adjustment. So now for these adjustments, we need to pass an adjustment. So how you pass the adjustment? Debit rent expense. How much? 20,000. And credit accrued expenses. rent adjust account. So this is what we call accrued expenses. I'm a bit worried about the joining people or the students. In fact, your exams will be in 7 months or 8 months time. Still, I cannot see any kind of interest in learning. Please pass the message to join remaining lessons. Otherwise, you will be in a big trouble. Okay. Some of the students are not joining at all. I don't know why. But you will have a lot of pressure in 6 months or 5 months time if you're not joining properly. Some are joining once in a blue moon, but it's not acceptable. Just copy this down. Copied. The double entry for accrued expenses, relevant expense debit, accrued expenses credit. So this accrued expenses will be recorded in current liability, under current liability. It's a current liability. Because it's an obligation. It is an obligation, it's a liability. Since it's a short-term liability, it will come under current liability. Done? Hans, can you read the accrued expenses note?
Accrued expenses are the expenses that an organization has incurred for obtaining the goods and services for a specific accounting period, but the payment for which is still outstanding. This is also called expenses payable. The value of accrued expense is a liability of the business. Given below is the journal entry relevant for recording the accrued expenses. Relevant expense account debit, accrued expense account credit. In the double entry system, an increase in expenses are debited while an increase in liabilities are credited. Therefore, the relevant accrued expense is debited to the expense account. An increase of liability, the amount of accrued expense is credited to the liability account. Example.
Yeah, just underline in your textbook. This is also called expense payable. And do underline relevant expense debit, accrued expense credit. The logic is increase in expense and increase in liability. So any increase in expense debit, an increase in liability credit. Okay. So now we'll go one by one. Haridha? The accounting period of Tarindu's business from 1st Jan 2000 to 31st December. The following information relates to accrued expenses. Annual insurance expense is 6,000. The company has only paid 4,000. 6,000 expense can be given 4,000. So we need to pass 4,000, sorry, 2,000 remaining outstanding payment. Okay. So accrued insurance payment is equal 6,000 minus 4,000. Answer is 2,000. We get a pass karan on entry debit insurance and credit accrued insurance. And we'll pass this entry in general journal. Once you pass the entry into right narration, accounting for accrued insurance expense. Expense එක debit කරා, accrued expense එක credit කරා. So මෙතන expense එක වෙන්නේ insurance debit, accrued insurance expense credit. Okay. Number 2, monthly rent of business building is 8,000, has been paid only for 10 months. 8,000 into 12 is the total expense. It can give 80,000. So how much is the outstanding amount? 16,000 or 2 months rent. Is 16,000 or to pass on entry. Rent expense debit, accrued rent expense credit. Third example, this is most common example in your O levels. The bank loan has been obtained for 50,000 on 1st Jan. Interest rate is 12%. The bank interest for 2 months has not been paid yet. There are 2 months of interest to calculate karnawa. So 50,000 into 12% into 2/12. So answer is 1,000. There ekata in expense 1,000. Ekata entry ka pass karnawa debit bank interest expense and credit accrued bank interest expense 1,000. Accounting for interest for bank. Etika harida balan. And now you go to the T accounts. T accounts, but get the logic of how you pass the journal entry and how you link to the the profit or loss statement and this way. So insurance expense cash link pay 4,000, outstanding amount 2,000. Insurance expense cash kela debit 4,000, accrued insurance expense kela 2,000 debit. Cash killer 4,000 debit, the amount you paid in cash, and the unpaid amount 2,000. Accrued insurance expense credit is 2,000. Corresponding entry here. Rent account cash link 80,000, outstanding rent 16,000. So that is called accrued rent. Rent account debit, accrued rent credit. Interest expense cash link 5,000, outstanding amount 1,000. So accrued interest you pass the entry to here. It is clear. If you have a doubt, please ask. In exams, they won't ask these T accounts, but this to get an idea. Right. The overall position. The overall position means in your profit and loss, you need to recognize the entire expense. Profit and loss total expense. The total expense is 6,000 here, and methana 96,000 here, and methana this into 12%, 6,000 here. In a total expense 696, 6. SOFP එකට යන්නේ outstanding amount එක. එහෙම නැත්නම් accrued expense එක. 2,000, 16,000, 1,000. So this will be recorded under current liability. Is it clear? If you have a doubt, please ask. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
Assume or learn profit and loss statement, entire expense, total expense. SOFP, outstanding expense, will record under current liability. Total expense එක දානවා profit and loss statement එකට. SOFP එකට දාන්නේ outstanding expense. හරිද? So can you try everyone activity 1? Please do try activity 1. Just draw this chart. Okay. Last questions. Minanga, can you read the first part?
Monthly rent for the shop is 5,000 and only eight months rent has been paid.
The expense එක rent කියලා ලියන්න හැමෝම. But how much you paid in cash?
40,000.
40,000 cash එකෙන් ගෙවලා තියෙනවා. මුළු expense එක කීයද?
60,000.
60,000. ඒ කියන්නේ 5,000 into 12. So ඒක ලියන්න expense for the period. කීයක් තව ගෙවන්න තියෙනවද? 20,000.
20,000.
Yeah, everyone clear? Just copy this down. If you have a doubt, please ask. Venuti, can you read the second one?
$18,000 has been paid as the electricity expenses. Electricity expense of ₹3,000 relevant to the month of December has not been paid.
Okay. So what is the expense?
Electricity,
Electricity. කීයක් ගෙවලා තියෙනවද?
18,000.
Write it 18,000. And how much is the outstanding amount?
3,000.
3,000. So what is the total rent? Sorry,
21.
electricity. 21.
One.
Yeah, everyone clear? If you have a doubt, please ask. Mihara, can you read the third one?
Bank loan has been obtained for 80,000 on 1st of December at an interest of 12%. The interest for the month of December has not been paid.
Right. Expense එක වෙලා interest. හරි. දැන් මට කියන්න interest for the year කීයද? So how we do this? Interest for the year calculate කරන්නේ 80,000 multiplied 12%. Here. Maths. $800,000 multiplied by 12%. 800,000 multiplied by 12% කියලා කියන්නේ. Sorry, 80,000 multiplied by 12% කියලා කියන්නේ 12 over 100. අග බින්දු දෙක කැපෙනවා. ඒතර 800 into 12 කීයද? Yeah, 9,600. ඒක හරියද හැමෝටම? That is the expense for the year or period. 9,600. ඒක දාගන්න මුලින්ම. මුලින්ම calculate කරන්නේ මොකද්ද? Total expense for the period or year. So මෙයා කියනවා interest for the month of December. එක මාසෙක interest එක විතරක් ගෙවලා නැහැ. එක මාසෙක interest එක කියලා කියන්නේ this divide by 12 is 800. ඒක හරියද? කොච්චරක් ගෙවලා තියෙනවා? total එක මෙච්චරයි. මෙච්චරක් outstanding. So කොච්චරක් ගෙවලා තියෙනවා? Total minus outstanding 8,800. ඒ ටික clear ද හැමෝටම? මේක තේරුම් ගන්න ඕනේ හරි? So they will present the question in a various forms. මෙහෙම දෙන්න පුළුවන්. මෙහෙම දෙන්නත් පුළුවන් or this way. Mehansa, can you read the fourth one?
Accrued telephone expenses as at 31st December is rupees 3,000.
Yeah, so it's telephone. There is no information how much they paid. Accrued like 3,000. Expense for the period also 3,000. So no information provide for the amount they have paid. So just leave it. They paid in cash, the no information. Say no information. If carriage expense, carriage. To be paid, same as the previous. Sinuti, last one.
The annual stationery expense is rupees 19,000, but only rupees 5,000 has been paid.
So stationery amount paid
5,000.
5,000. Total expense
19,000.
19,000. Outstanding
14,000.
14,000. ඒක හරිද ඔක්කොම?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
In the third one, if you obtain the loan on 1st December, do we have to pay the interest for the whole year?
Hold on. I made a mistake there. It's my mistake. Oh yeah, my mistake. I thought this was January. I didn't read. Okay, sorry. So please do amend. So this is my mistake. So this should be 800. I didn't read the question. I did first Jan. Sorry. So this is the 1st December you took the loan. So in that case, only 800 interest is outstanding. Yeah, sorry for this. I just thought that it's first Jan. Yeah, I did read that part. So it is first. So please do amend. Please do underline that part. I didn't read properly. So it's 1st December they obtain a loan. So if it is 1st January, previous answer is correct. Sorry for that. Interest का adjust करेगा. And then write it down. Double increase. It. First take मैंने मेट कितना पास करना है इंटरेस्ट ठीक है. This interest need to pass. Write it down the amount first. 20,000. The amount sticker. Okay. First one, rent expense. Yeah. Credit to now accrued rent. Rent expense debit, accrued rent expense credit. Take a electricity expense, accrued electricity. Third, interest expense, accrued expense. Telephone expense, accrued. Carriage expense, accrued. Stationery expense, journal entries you can pass. This is just a copying the same thing along with the narration. Majorly unknown. Date එක දැම්මා, general voucher, description, just pass the debit and credit entries. And the just write it down. Go one by one. General journal. Voucher number. Let's write 31st December 2021. Debit, rent expense, interest expense. Telephone, Reach station. Clear everyone? So rent expense debit අපි මෙතන adjust කරන්නේ මේ accrued expense තියෙන එක ටික විතරයි හරි. Because cash one's already passed. So rent expense debit, accrued rent credit. Rent expense credit. Electricity expense debit, accrued electricity expense credit. Interest expense debit, accrued interest credit. If you have a doubt, please ask. And then he'd pass how much your profit and loss statement extracts. So expenses, Total for the period. And then the accrued rent. Accrued items. You clear this. Okay. Anyone who has a doubt? The profit and loss statement eකට total ගන්න. හරිද? Total amount. An outstanding amount එක තමයි SOFP එකේ current liabilities එකට ගන්න. Is it clear everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. ඕක හොඳට බලා ගන්න, and next chapter එකේදී we'll be discussing the opposite one. This is accrued expenses නේ. Next session, this is income receivable. So just go through this one, this area, and we'll discuss in the next day. Okay, so I'll stop with that and stay safe. Okay, see you then. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.